Crimean Tatars or Kirimli. Who are they? What are they known for? What have they given to the world? And how did they change history? Watch the video blog, Moments of History, Personalities, to find out. On April 24, 1938, one of the most fantastic women of her time, a legend of Crimean Tatar television, the creator of the first ever children's television program, Merabeniz, Balalar, a writer and a teacher, Subiye Nalbantova was born in Crimea. She was also a creative, charismatic and talented lady. You have to be a human being first and foremost. You can't think only about yourself, about your own benefit. You need to be able to give, and to gift to people. These words of Subiye Nalbantova became her motto. Throughout her life, she has been an endless source of creative energy for her pupils, her students, her audience, and most importantly for her family and friends. She was only 6 years old when her family was herded into wagons early in the morning on May 18 of 1944 and taken very far from home, from her native village of Kapsykor near Sudak city. The family ended up in the Mari Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic, in the Ashla forestry. They were engaged in harvesting wood and shipping it by railway. Even the children of deported Crimean Tatars were not exempted from this hellish work, and Subiye Khanum, at the age of 13, loaded 4-meter logs of wood into wagons along with her elders. When I remember all this again, I wonder how we survived, how we remained human, how we helped each other at that time. The young lady was already fond of music, and after the family moved to Tajikistan in 1955, she began to attend a vocal group organized by her brother Edem Nalbantov, a future famous composer. After graduating from a music school with a degree in piano, she decided to become a professional actress and entered the Tashkent Institute of Theater and Arts. When I was young, as soon as I watched a movie, I immediately had a question. Why can't we, Crimean Tatars, make our own movies? There were so many tragedies in our lives, so many troubles, and so many joys in between. So why can't we make a movie about it? This question haunted me at that time. Subiye Khanum always said, unfortunately, her dream of becoming an actress did not come true then. She graduated from the institute, but then got married and devoted her life to her family and raising 3 children. However, music has always been in her life. She worked for 30 years at a music school in the city of Yangil. And after the family returned to Crimea in 1990, her life changed dramatically. In the early 90s, a Crimean Tatar theater opened in Simferopol. In order to train personnel for it, the Simferopol School of Culture opened a Crimean Tatar group. Subiye Khanum invited her youngest son Akhtam to try his hand at theater. Who else but she knew his abilities and believed that he would be able to fulfill the dream of her youth to make a movie about the fate of her people. The son passed the exams and was enrolled, and the lady herself was offered to teach 2 subjects at the same institution, stage speech and vocal performance. 2 years later, Subiye Khanum received another offer. The Crimean Tatar television needed a presenter for a new children's program in their native language, and Subiye Khanum started her work literally from scratch. In those years, there was no methodological literature or specialized books in the Crimean Tatar language. She had to collect information bit by bit and write scripts on her own. Moreover, the lady herself wrote poems, stories, and fairy tales for her programs. She sewed dolls for her small theater, voiced them, searched for and prepared children for the broadcast, and worked with the first Crimean Tatar groups that opened in Crimea, in kindergartens. Her creative approach, professionalism, unconditional talent, skill and patriotism soon yielded results. The program Merhabanız, Bağlar was very popular and children looked forward to watching it. Thanks to Subiye Nalbantova, children in Crimea were able to watch cartoons in their native Crimean Tatar language. She was the one who created the first dubs. In addition to children's programs, Subiye Nalbantova's own programs began to be broadcasted later. It is safe to say that she contributed to the restoration and popularization of the Crimean Tatar culture and language. She was a pioneer, an innovator in this field, and no one in Crimean Tatar TV journalism had done this before her. Of course, she gained great popularity and love of the audience. She spent 17 years working in television. She has published a collection of fairy tales, and her son, Okhtim Sidiblayev, fulfilled her dream of making a movie about the tragedy of the Crimean Tatars. In the film Haytarma, Subiye Khanım had a cameo, but it was still a bright role.
Бабушка, вы собрались? И это все?
Здесь Бог, память и хлеб. Человеку этого достаточно, чтобы жить. У меня 5 внуков погибли на войне. 6-й внук сражается за нашу землю. Увидишь его, скажи ему, что он предатель.
In the summer of 2021, her big heart stopped beating. She absorbed all the centuries-old Crimean Tatar culture and sought to pass it on to the new generation. She always remained a deeply decent, tactful person. She was an example of what a real Crimean Tatar woman should be like.
Дивіться нас на всіх соціальних сторінках Кримського дому, підписуйтесь та підтримуйте нас вподобайками.